Fatima. I'll wait for your cue. We good? All right, ladies and gentlemen, we want to welcome all of you out today. We appreciate your being here. It's the time has come, and we've kept you waiting a little bit longer than we expected. We apologize, but I don't know if we have any other chairs, so I hope we don't get too many more that show up. We'll have to have standing room only. We do appreciate each and every one of you being here with us today, though. Today is a very important day that I think represents an awful lot of very, very hard work for so many individuals. And most of you, I'm guessing, are here to visit with or be a part of a special day for one of these officials who has gone through a very difficult and tedious process, a very challenging process of running for office and ultimately being successful in that endeavor. And I've had great opportunity over the last few years to work with each and every one of these individuals who has both served previously and who is now elected to serve in office that will be sworn in today. And I am just excited and grateful to tell you how glad that I am to work with each and every one of them. These are good individuals, good solid people with credentials that are deep and roots that are strong and strong abilities to do so many good things in our community. They have done a wonderful, wonderful job so far getting to this point. I'm grateful for the opportunity to work with them going forward in the future. So hope that you enjoy your experience here today. We'll try to make it as quick as we can and still take care of the necessary business. I do want to recognize just a few dignitaries who are here in the audience today with us. First of all, I see several of our county, our mayors from Weber County, through different cities throughout Weber County here with us today. Would all of the mayors please stand up and be recognized so that we can see who you are? I see, let's give them a hand. I see Mayor Caldwell from Ogden City, Mayor Taylor from North Ogden City, and Mayor Molesky from Pleasant View. And I'm sure that there will probably be a few more trickle in since we have our Council of Governments meeting here a little bit later. I also recognize on the front row here, Mark DeCaria, our former elected Weber County attorney. Welcome, Mark. We appreciate you being here. Stand up and wave at the group. I always tell myself I shouldn't do that because I know there are so many others in the audience who should be recognized, but one for sure, I see one member of the legislature. Are there others? If you're in the legislature, will you please stand? Representative D, I see. Any others? Representative D, the majority leader in the House. And the reality is, as we go through a process like this, it's been interesting. I recognize that we can't be successful in this experiment of self-governing without having an engaged and dedicated citizenry who are here working together towards the common goal and making sure that those values that are so important to us are perpetrated into the future. And so, while we've recognized a few people, I think the most important is the individual who has come to be a part of this process. The fact that you're here tells me that you probably got involved in a campaign somehow, one way or another. And you were involved with supporting the candidate of your choice and making sure that those values and principles that you feel are important are maintained in our community. I had a interesting thought that I wanted to share just briefly as we begin. I've always been a fan of Abraham Lincoln. And I just love to read books, history books regarding his time in office and some of the challenges he faced. All of you have heard excerpts from, and maybe some of you could probably recite the entire Gettysburg Address. But there's one paragraph in the very end of it, a very short address to begin with, one little paragraph that I wanted to share for just a second as a thought. As he is standing in that sacred place and very concerned about what the future might be, he is honoring these brave men who lost their life, and some who didn't lose their life but at least lost their maybe some body parts and some very important, if nothing else, pride, happiness, joy, family. They knew that things were not going to be the same that they were. And he says this, the brave men, and I'll add women, living and dead, who struggled here have consecrated it, this land, far above our poor power to add or detract. The world will little note, nor long remember what we say here, which obviously turned out to be false, because we're talking about it today like we do so much. But it can never forget what they did. It is for us, the living, rather to be dedicated here to the unfinished work which they who fought here have thus far so nobly advanced. It is rather for us to be here dedicated to the great task remaining before us, that from these honored dead we take increased devotion to that cause which they gave the last full measure of their devotion, that we here highly resolve that these dead shall not have died in vain, that this nation under God shall have a new birth of freedom, and that the government of the people, by the people, and for the people shall not perish from the earth. That is my hope today, ladies and gentlemen, that we will each do our part to make sure that this government that we are so in need of, this experiment, this great experiment in democracy, in self-government, continues. And it cannot continue without each and every one of us doing our part, being involved on a very, very individual and personal basis in whichever way that we can, going forward, that this may not perish from the land, from the people. So that's my hope and my prayer, and I am convinced that with the wise decisions that you made during this election cycle, that these folks who you have chosen to represent you will do a fine job of doing what you ask them to do, doing the things that will preserve this nation, preserve our county, and preserve our government into the future. So let me just make one note of interest that you might be interested to hear. As you can see, there is a little bit of new technology in the chambers that's fairly new. A few months ago, Commissioner-elect Ebert, who will be Commissioner Ebert here in just a few minutes, stood up in one of our county commission meetings and challenged us to do a better job of reaching out our message, what the commission is doing and how they are representing the people, of getting that out to the public. And we are excited to tell you today that for the first time ever, and I don't even know if there's a county anywhere doing this. I know the state has done a pretty good job. I don't know about county. I think we might be the first county doing this. Any thoughts? Let's pretend we are, okay? We are live streaming these events today, and tomorrow morning for our first commission meeting of the year, we will be live streaming to the county website the proceedings of all of the commission meetings. Now, we hope that that doesn't mean you'll never come visit us, because we want you to come visit us as well. But we also want to make it convenient so that you can get on the website, you can follow along with what's going on, and you can be a part of the proceedings even if you can't get here. Now, right now, what do we got? We got 16 people watching. Now, I hope they're not all in this room. I think they're probably out there somewhere. But we have 16 people watching the live proceedings, and we hope that they're able to participate, I think, throughout the year in their government as we move forward. And so I wanted to thank Commissioner-elect Ebert for his suggestion and for the challenge that he threw out there to us. And now we're excited to be able to go forward and show that off a little bit. We will take suggestions as we go forward, and we're going to try and figure out how to be as absolutely as interactive as possible. But right now, we're just glad to have it up on the web, and here we go. So we'll move on with our program. We'll begin with an invocation, which will be offered by Mr. Jim Mackley, after which the national anthem will be sung by a beautiful young group of girls with the last name of Gibson. Mr. Mackley?
Our Father who art in heaven, we gather here at this inauguration in Weber County We are grateful for the form of government that we have. We are grateful for our founding fathers and for the Constitution which they put forward for us. We are grateful for all who are here today and all who have participated in government. And we pray that we as citizens of Weber County will ever participate and ever make the best choices that we can. Father in heaven, we recognize that all power is in thy hands, including that of government, and that we as agents able to choose to follow thee and choose to do the best that we can, that those who are young may grow up, may have all the blessings of liberty, of freedom, that freedom of religion may ever be in Weber County, that all of the freedoms supported and protected by our Constitution may ever be here. We ask for a blessing upon law enforcement, that they may be protected as they defend us, defend our rights. And we ask now for blessings upon those who will be inaugurated here today, that they will carry thy blessings throughout this year and always as they serve us. And these things we pray, recognizing again thy hand in all things, and in the name of Jesus Christ, amen.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Please stand again and join me in saying the Pledge of Allegiance. I Thank you.
Well, I got so flustered by those Pretty Gibson girls that I forgot to announce Mr. Cameron Ebert, who is going to give the Pledge of Allegiance. So thankfully, he bailed me out of that little mistake and came right up and did his duty. Cameron Ebert, thank you. All right, Commissioner Bell, we would like to turn the time to you for a short thought and also any comments you'd like to make.
Thank you. I was looking at some thoughts that might be interesting on today's occasion, and there became one, and I'm just going to read it real quick here. During Thomas Jefferson's presidency, he and a group of travelers were crossing a river that had overflowed its banks. Each man crossed on horseback, fighting for his life. A lone traveler watched the group traverse the treacherous river and then asked President Jefferson to take him across. The president agreed without hesitation. The man climbed on, and the two made it safely to the other side of the river. And one of the people on the other side of the river asked the man, "Why did you select the president to ask you for this favor?" The man was shocked, admitting that he had no idea it was the President of the United States who had carried him across safely. And then the man replied, he said, I looked on everyone's face when they saw me. He said, I saw a lot of no's, please don't ask me. And on his face, I saw a yes, I would be happy to. And so I think in life, the most significant decisions we make each day is our choice in our attitude. When our attitudes are right, there's no barrier to high, no valleys that are too low, no dream too extreme, and no challenge too great. So I would just hope that we'll remember as this New Year's going, as we've all made New Year's resolutions. I was watching a little special the other day talking about them, and everyone makes them. And that we keep them at least for a day, week, month, year, even try to do it all year. And as we make those resolutions, we try to make this place a better place. And it's because of, Commissioner Gibson said earlier, it's because of people involved. And we really appreciate people getting involved. We sometimes hear the negative, and it's pretty good at that. The positive, sometimes far and few between, but we really enjoy the involvement and the counter that people will bring to us and be part of it. So we're excited. We've got some great new officials in Weber County, some officials that have come back in, and so we're looking forward to some great things, and it's going to be a great team, and appreciate everyone coming out. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Bell. Excellent. Appreciate that. All right. We'll move on then with our swearing-in ceremony. We will begin with the order listed on the program. I will be sworn in first by my father, and then after which Mr. Ebert, Ms. Kiltz, Chris Allred, Terry Thompson, John Bond, John Ulibarri, and Ricky Hatch. Now, I had a few of these elected officials come to me earlier in the day and say something to the effect of, how much time can I take afterwards in a speech? And I told them no more than 15 or 20 minutes each. So I'm hoping that sounds okay to all of you. But I will tell you this. I have seen firsthand the difficulty in running for office. And by golly, if they want to say something, we're going to let them say something. Okay, so we'll begin with that. Immediately after they're sworn in, if the individual would like to, they may take the microphone and address the crowd. If they don't want to, they're more than welcome to go sit down as well. Okay, so, Dad.
Mine?
Nope. You already did. You're deputized
For how long?
for the end of the day.
I'll be in the season.
Is there anybody you'd like to marry while you're here?
Caden, where are you? Carrie W. Gibson, do solemnly affirm that I will support.
I, Carrie W. Gibson, do solemnly affirm that I will support,
Obey
obey,
and defend
and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of this state,
and the Constitution of this state,
and that I will discharge the duties of my office
and that I will discharge the duties of my office
as a Weber County Commissioner
as a Weber County Commissioner
with fidelity.
with fidelity. Thank you.
I asked John Watson to swear me in.
James, will you raise your right hand? I, Charles James Ebert,
I, Charles James Ebert,
do solemnly affirm
do solemnly affirm
that I will support, obey, and defend
that I will support, obey, and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of this state,
and the Constitution of this state,
and that I will discharge
and that I will discharge
the duties of my office
the duties of my office
as a Weber County Commissioner
as a Weber County Commissioner
with fidelity.
with fidelity.
Congratulations.
I'm just going to take 2 seconds and express my appreciation to all of those who supported me and the tremendous amount of work that was done on a campaign that many were not sure was going to make it all the way through, but still every day worked and every day had support for me and every day had encouragement. I appreciate all those who've come out to support me today. Thank you very much. And most importantly, I want to tell my wife and family how much I appreciate their support. There's a wonderful saying that says, as we express our gratitude, we must never forget that the highest appreciation is not to utter words, but to actually live by them. This is a position of trust, and I understand that, and the fidelity that I just swore an oath to, I will do my very best to meet. Thank you very much for your support, and I appreciate and hope to hear from you again. Thank you very much.
Commissioner Ebert, we're in this building in session. I think you should be sitting now that you're sworn up. You should join us.
I won't argue with you.
Would you please?
Maybe the only time I've been
You made me look bad again already. He forgot to tell me to do up my button. My wife was pointing at me and I didn't get what she was saying, so I look bad. Well, Leanne's coming up. I have to tell you about, you probably mostly all heard the story about my mother. She passed away recently, but she came so proud 4 years ago when I was first sworn in. I miss her and love her, but she was very concerned that light over my forehead makes my bald spot radiate. And so you're getting a little glare. Hope you can make it through the rest of the day. All right, we have Leanne Kiltz, who will be sworn in as the Recorder Surveyor. Sworn in by Larry G. Hadley, who is her brother.
I, Leanne Kiltz,
I, Leanne Kiltz,
do solemnly affirm
do solemnly affirm
that I will support,
that I will support,
obey,
obey,
and defend the Constitution of the United States
and defend the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of this state,
and the Constitution of this state,
and that I will discharge
and that I will discharge
the duties
the duties
of my office
of my office
as the Weber County Recorder Surveyor
as a Weber County Recorder Surveyor
with fidelity.
with fidelity.
That's it.
There you go.
They just informed me earlier this morning that I was supposed to speak. I said, did you guys not hear me on the campaign trail? I need a bottle of water and my mouth dries up. But anyway, I would be very ungrateful to all of you if I didn't stand here and tell you thank you for all your support. And I'm not going to cry. I'm not. But and I want to thank my family, all my family was able to be here, and my immediate family, and my mom and my dad. And all of you in the office and for the county. I will do my best to hold this office and to be supportive and to listen to all our cares and concerns and our needs. But I wanted to thank all of you, and I appreciate this, and I will do my best. Thank you.
All right, Mr. Chris Allred, County Attorney, sworn in by the Honorable Mark R. DeCaria. Mark is one of the few who didn't need to be deputized today. He already has all of the authority necessary given by the people of the state to swear in Mr. Allred.
You don't often put this on over the sport coat, so.
Make sure and do your button up.
What do they usually wear underneath?
It's a big secret. All right. Raise your hand to the square. I, Christopher F. Allred,
I, Christopher F. Allred,
do solemnly affirm
do solemnly affirm
that I will support, obey, and defend
that I will support, obey, and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of this state,
and the Constitution of this state,
and that I will discharge the duties of my office
and that I will discharge the duties of my office
as Weber County Attorney
as Weber County Attorney
with fidelity.
with fidelity.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Since James and Leanne didn't take much of their time, I'll use theirs. I'll only be about 30 minutes. So, first off, I'd like to thank Judge DeCaria for being here today and swearing me in. Mark was the county attorney who hired me a long time ago now. And not only was Mark just a great boss to work for and a fine lawyer, but even more so, he was and is an excellent human being. I learned a great deal from Mark, and it's just a real honor to have him swear me in today, so thank you. I would also like to thank my dear parents, Gordon and Sharon Allred, whose contributions and examples have permeated every aspect of my life. I thank them so much. Likewise, my beautiful wife for her support, and my children, not only their moral support, but their hands-on help with everything throughout this process. I'd also like to thank our good county commissioners, whom I have gone to and do go to frequently for advice. They were free with their help and support all throughout the process, and that was a big help to me. I had a tremendous outpouring of support from local law enforcement officers as well, from my family and so many friends who participated and who eagerly helped out with my campaign along the way. And for all of you, I'm very grateful. And then, of course, there's my office. I am so fortunate to work in an office where I genuinely look forward to coming to work every day and associating with these good people. My predecessor and friend, Dee Smith, set the bar very high in the office and left me some big shoes to fill. But to be honest, I have almost no apprehension whatsoever about taking the position. And that has nothing to do with arrogance and has everything to do with the confidence that I have in the lawyers and the investigators and the rest of the staff in that office. And so that's a very good feeling to have. I was born and raised here in Ogden. I love Weber County. It is such an honor to be entrusted with the position of Weber County Attorney. Thank you all very much.
Nicely done, Chris. Appreciate that. You had the cutest camera crew of the bunch so far, right up here on the corner. They've got some good shots. I hope you remember that and take a look at some of those. All right, now as our sheriff, Mr. Terry Thompson, sworn in by Preston C. Thompson. I'm assuming that's your son, Terry.
That is. Handsome young man, isn't he?
He is. He just needs that mustache.
In spite of his father.
Raise your right arm. I, Terry Thompson,
I, Terry Thompson,
do solemnly affirm
that
I will support, obey, and defend
I will support, obey, and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of this state,
and the Constitution of this state,
and that I will discharge the duties
and that I will discharge the duties
of my office as the Weber County Sheriff
as the Weber County Sheriff
with fidelity.
with fidelity. Well, it's been a fast 4 years. And in speaking to the other elected officials here, we just look at each other like, holy cow, it's been 4 years already. I just want to say thank you to the residents of Weber County. Deeply appreciate their confidence and deeply appreciate their support. And I'm grateful to them. It has truly been an honor to serve as Weber County Sheriff for them for the last 4 years, and truly an honor for them to trust in me, have enough trust in me to serve for the next 4 years. I also want to say thank you to our elected officials. You know, we truly have some phenomenal elected officials in Weber County, just really, really good people who are just doing their best each day to try to do the right things on behalf of each of you and for the residents that we serve. Just really good people. It's truly an honor to be counted among them. I'd also like to thank my family who have been very supportive over all the many years. And I have a lot of family on both sides, my wife and mine, and they've all just been tremendous. I'm grateful for my parents and for the direction they gave me growing up. It wasn't a completely straight line for me. I might have varied just a little bit here and there. And I give them due credit for keeping me on track. Grateful for my in-laws and for my kids. Very proud of them. Thankful to have my son here to swear me in today, and I appreciate that deeply as well. Let me just give you just a little very short, brief history of the county and the sheriff's office, and I won't take too long. Many of you, I'm sure, know this. Weber County was first organized in the late 1840s, so it's been just a little while. And at that point, obviously, it was Utah territory, right? Long before we were a state. And some of you know this, but for those that don't, at that time, Weber County actually stretched all the way from here to the Sierra Nevada mountains in California. Is that amazing? That's just incredible. And back in that day, transportation wasn't quite as convenient. The first sheriff ran for election here in 1851 and was appointed in 1852. And just the thought of traveling those kind of distances in the county to take care of county business just makes me feel the saddle sore, because they weren't getting around in cars like we are here now. So that's a long horse ride. Now, I just bring that up because I'm the 28th sheriff of Weber County, and really that's just not that many over that period of time. And so it's a very, very special thing. And what a wonderful thing it is to be a part of such a rich, colorful American history. It's true that sometimes I like to imagine that maybe I'm Wyatt Earp, okay? I know I'm not, but it's a rich, colorful American history, and such a special thing to be a part of that. Just in closing, I want everybody here to know that I understand that I serve at the discretion and the will of the people, that I derive my authority to serve on their behalf. And I am so grateful to Weber County residents for allowing me that special opportunity. And I just want to mention, before I leave the podium, as our good county attorney did, Chris Allred, and he's a good man and do wonderful things for the county, how grateful I am for the employees of the Weber County Sheriff's Office. It's a fairly good-sized office, nearly 400 employees. And they love what they do. They love their job. They love serving you. And they're dedicated to that. And they understand that they represent you. And they understand that it's their job to see that we treat all with respect, dignity, and equitably. So I want you to know how grateful I am for them, and I would hope that you would be too, and be proud of them, because they are professionals. They are so good at what they do, and they love and respect you, and they love serving you. So thank you again for this opportunity to serve for another 4 years, and excited to get started. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Sheriff. We appreciate that. You know, whenever the sheriff, Wyatt Earp, gets up and starts his talk with back in the 1840s, we always worry. But no, it was wonderful. We really appreciate your service over the years, Mr. Sheriff, and appreciate all that you do today. Thank you for those good words of advice. John Bond will be sworn in as the Weber County Treasurer, sworn in by Carolyn Laird. It's all yours.
I state your name, do solemnly affirm that I will
I, John Bond, do solemnly affirm that I will
support, obey, and defend the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of this state,
support, obey, and defend the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of this state,
and that I will discharge the duties of my office as the Weber County Treasurer with fidelity.
and that I will discharge the duties of my office as Weber County Treasurer with fidelity. Just a couple of things. First, my thanks to my family. Aunts and uncles, father-in-law, brother-in-law, my wife, my kids. I love them dearly. Wow, what an experience this is. Second, I want to thank my office. They come with hard work and smiles every day, and man, that's a big deal. And the community, thank you for your support. And second, a quote from Henry David Thoreau: "Go confidently in the direction of your dreams. Live the life you have imagined." I've enjoyed the opportunity behind the scenes to associate with these elected officials that you see today for the past year and watch them as they've grown, as they've developed ideas and dreams, and as they've lived those dreams out day by day. It's an experience that many of you should have, to watch behind the scenes, to watch that unfold. They are moving confidently forward, and today you see them. And it's a really pleasure and opportunity for me, and I'm very blessed to join with them to move the county positively and confidently into the future. Thank you.
In true form, Mr. Bond, the most efficient speech of the day. Well done. Appreciate you. All right, next, as the Weber County Assessor, Mr. John Ulibarri, sworn in by Mr. John Ulibarri. John E. Ulibarri.
I, John E. Ulibarri II,
I, John E. Ulibarri II,
do solemnly affirm
do solemnly affirm
that I will support
that I will support
and defend the Constitution of the United States
and defend the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of this state,
and the Constitution of this state,
and I will discharge the duties of my office
and I will discharge the duties of my office
as Weber County Assessor
as Weber County Assessor
with fidelity.
with fidelity. All right. Hello. How's everybody today? I guess that was a rhetorical question. I always hate following John Bond because he is so eloquent and, like Commissioner Gibson said, efficient with his words. So I just want to say a couple things. First thing, thank you for the opportunity to serve you as your Weber County Assessor. It is truly an honor. I'm one of the very special few people who get to say I have 234,000 bosses. And it's a job that I take very seriously. It's often said that it takes a village to raise a child. Well, it's taken a whole community to raise this assessor. And so I have a lot of people that I need to thank. First of all, I want to thank my fellow elected officials. There's not a single one, either past or present or future, that I have not learned something from. And they all serve as an inspiration. Second, I really need to thank my staff. If you ever wonder how anything possibly gets done in the assessor's office, it's those people over there. So if you wouldn't mind joining me in applause for my staff, I would certainly appreciate it. They bring a level of professionalism to an office that, believe it or not everybody's excited to see when we show up at their door, and an expertise that is really, in my opinion, the best in the state. The second group I need to thank is, or people I need to thank, are my mom and dad. They deserve quite a lot of the credit and a little bit of the blame for how I've turned out. But before you assign them too much blame, they did the best they could with what they had to work with. Second group of people I need to thank are my two beautiful baby girls who are no longer babies anymore. They have been very patient, very kind, and very understanding with their silly father. and I love you guys. The last person I need to thank is really my wife. She is, frankly, the only reason that I'm even standing up here today. She's been my rock. She has been my solace. She has been my everything. She's been my love. And finally, I just want to close with a big thank you to everybody. We really appreciate your support, and you are the reason why we are here. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Ulibarri. I'm always excited to see you, even if you are trying to take my tax money. Appreciate you. Mr. Ricky Hatch will be sworn in as the Weber County Clerk Auditor, sworn in by Jerry A. Hatch, Ricky's brother. You know what?
Awesome.
Mother is looking down on me, so disappointed right now.
Awesome. Please raise your arm to the square. I state your name.
I, Ricky D. Hatch,
Do solemnly affirm
do solemnly affirm
that I will support, obey, and defend
that I will support, obey, and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of this state,
and the Constitution of this state,
and that I will discharge the duties of my office
and that I will discharge the duties of my office
as the Weber County Clerk Auditor
as the Weber County Clerk Auditor
with fidelity.
with fidelity.
Bam.
So usually when a politician speaks, the shortest distance between 2 points is about 45 minutes. I'll try not to talk for quite that long. I wanted to give a big thank you first off to my God, secondly to my family, my siblings, my children, and especially to my wife for their support, their continued love and ideas and enthusiasm. I also want to thank the great staff of the Clerk Auditor's Office. They didn't ask to work with me, and they have endured my crazy brain over the past few months during the election, and frankly over the past 4 years, ever since I've been here. They have an impeccable talent and an infectious attitude, kind of a wild, this shouldn't be legal kind of fun. They just make work so pleasurable. It's just really fun. A quote by John Adams kind of summarizes why I initially decided to run for office and be involved in government. He wrote to his son that public service must always be done by somebody or other. If wise men decline it, others will not. If honest men refuse it, others will not. Now, I'm not saying that I'm wise, but I do try to be honest. And I've always tried to be an informed voter, but I don't think that's enough anymore. We all need to step up and do something more. For me, that meant running for office. For others, it might mean starting their own business or attending school board meetings every month or becoming a pastor or teaching their children about the principles of freedom. But we all have to do something. Miles Goodwin, former governor of Virginia, said, "There's nothing wrong with a political joke as long as it doesn't get elected." And I'm happy to say that there are no jokes that have been elected to office in Weber County. I am really excited to work with our new attorney, with our new recorder surveyor, and with our new commissioner. Chris Allred is unassuming, genuine, and reasonable. Leanne Kiltz is kind, intelligent, and good-natured. And James Ebert is extremely witty, humble, and a great thinker, and our county is in great hands. Thank you.
Ricky, who's that pretty lady sitting by your grandpa? As we know, Ricky, always a taste for the flamboyant. Excellent. We appreciate that, Ricky. All right. I just want to thank you again, all of you, for being here. I think it's impressive to hear these individuals who have had the opportunity to work in these individual offices express their thanks to the people who they work with. County government takes people to run efficiently. That's what we do, is we provide services through people. And I have found that this is a great group of people. So I'm going to make a blanket statement, not just for my office, but for the entire workforce at Weber County, how grateful I am for the dedicated work and service that they provide for us each and every day. What a great, great group of people. Thank you very, very much for your sacrifice. We recognize that sometimes we wish we could earn more money. And we recognize as well that sometimes we have to balance that with the obligation that we have to our taxpayers to be as absolutely as efficient as we can. But with what we have to work with, it is impressive to see the work that is done. So thank you so much for that. I see several others in the audience who have joined us. I notice you'll see firefighters, policemen, friends, neighbors. I see former Representative Wilcox entered the room representing Senator Lee's office. All of you, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for being a part of this process. Thank you for being a part of a great team of people working together to make our community a better place to live. I'm proud of my team, sitting here on the front row, my beautiful bride and my wonderful children. And I want to now expand that to work together with each and every one of you as part of a team to accomplish the best things that we can for Weber County. Thank you for joining me in that effort. All right, commissioners, anything you'd like to add?
There's Punch and Cookie in the back.
Yes, there is. Okay, then I'll have a motion to adjourn. Would you like to make your first motion?
I'd love to make my first motion. I'd like to make a motion to adjourn.
I second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
We're adjourned. Thank you. If I could get the elected officials to come up for a picture before they leave, that would be great. Thank you.